Unlike other Pokemon intros, this one's just two Pokemon fighting. Even Yellow had more cinematics. Guess Jigglypuff was absent from Leafgreen. Gengar smacks Nidorino without even touching it. Nidorino shouldn't affect Gengar with whatever this move is. This game's mascot is its starter, practically choosing your starter for you. And cue the creep jokes people will make without much context. Why does Kanto have so many spiky-haired people? Not all Japanese people have spiky hair. Oak forgot his own grandson's name. There's no clock system. Where the heck were you? You weren't anywhere in Pallet Town. Professor Oak has been listening to the Nutcracker Chinese dance a lot. Why does he have only 3 Pokemon left? Oak lets a stranger choose a Pokemon before his own grandson. For newcomers, this first tutorial is understandable, but for veterans, it's annoying. Tackle is weaker than Scratch and Pound. Almost like they didn't want you to choose Squirtle. Some of these songs are remixes of kitty songs, making you feel like a little baby. Your head's bigger than these windows. How does the receptionist know we came to pick up Oak's parcel? How does he know we'll deliver the package as planned? How is this place north of here private property? And how do you expect to stop people from coming from Route 2? Backtracking. I'm sure we could climb ledges by grabbing them and pulling yourself up. Blue tells us not to ask Daisy for a map, inadvertently giving you ideas. But I doubt I'll need it considering how easy Kanto is to memorize since it's in 5 generations. How is it lazy to ask someone to run an errand? In Gen 1, Charmander choosers were dead since their Pokemon don't do much damage to Brock. Your only way to be super effective was to teach Nidoran Double Kick at level 43. Now they learned earlier, Mankey's found earlier, and Charmander gets Metal Claw, so I'll take off 3 cents. Blue ambushes you several times, so if you didn't save right before and have to stop playing right now, you must finish the battle before you can save. Get used to it. If we shouldn't go to the Pokemon League because we have no badges, why are you here? They couldn't even have the item grab jingle. I know the originals had the level and item jingles the other way around, but here they have the right level up jingle, so why can't they have both? Metapods learning nothing but Harden can make them annoying to fight physically. Why can't they keep their moves from their previous evolved forms like we can? The first normal required trainer in the entire Pokemon franchise comes near the end of Viridian Forest. Sammy says we're good just because we beat a level 9 Weedle. Jigglypuff singing doesn't put you to sleep. Instead you're like, cool song bro. I shouldn't break the news that Aerodactyl is not Dragon. This guy's a huge jerk. Glad saying take you to the top made me think he'd take us straight to Brock. Do they expect kids to understand these kinds of sayings? If by 10,000 light years you mean 2 steps, then sure, let's go with that. Pewter Gym has more ground types than Rock. Granted only 1 more, but Liam should have used a fossil Pokemon. Onix looks so much stronger than it actually is. This bothered me ever since I found out its base stat total. No, I didn't look at you. I'm facing to your right. Sand Attack is one of many moves that makes your attack keep missing. About 5 moves are dedicated to this, so I'll give 5 cents. No, we didn't see you in Viridian Forest. The only required bug catcher there was named Sammy. Heck, none of the bug catchers were named Colton. Here's Ben, the kid that comes up to you and randomly says he likes shorts. We can't fight youngsters, the most basic trainer class, until now. The Pokédex says that Charmeleon tears its fallen victims to shreds. What were they thinking when they wrote that? Is Calvin infatuated with shorts? He's crazier than youngster Ben. I didn't touch you, you came up to me. Jigglypuff is one of the most worthless Pokemon in Kanto, because its stats stink even after it evolves. What is attractive its own ability but Leech Seed doesn't? This man should consider himself lucky. At least he's not living in the late 2010s where you have to hear about Donald Trump every day. Mudsport reduces electricity's power, but most Pokemon that learn are ground types, which are immune to electric moves, so what's the point? Ken thinks a child is with Team Rocket. Iris expects her friends to find her in a cave. Rare candies are too good to be true. If you use them at the wrong time, you don't get enough stat boosts. The only Steel type before the postgame couldn't learn any Steel attacks until Generation 4. Most creative design ever! Paris' sprite creeps me out. Team Rocket's battle theme is just a normal trainer battle theme. They should have composed a new one. Even using the Aqua and Magma theme would be better. Bellsprout's Firered Pokédex actually thinks his butt looks like a human face. We are stealing the Clefairy's precious Moonstone. Well geez, I never asked to take one of your fossils. All I asked was to move them. Who the heck has them blocking the way? I wish these moves were fighting instead of normal. Of course you'll see us. You're facing each other. Well, there goes your way back home. Now you can't return for an hour. What greedy scumbag charges $1 million for a bike? All this Aber knows is teleport, making it a joke. Aber can use telekinesis even when sleeping. Yeah, right, Pokédex, you liar. Wouldn't it be more challenging to beat the Nugget Bridge trainers in a row? I know that sounds cheap, but they're not even hard. Yeah, announce that you're in Team Rocket in public. Game won't let you join them even if you want to. Not that I'd want to join their stupid gang anyway. Ember is annoying to catch because it flees on the first turn. Of course youngster Joey's here, and even uses a Rattata, convincing everyone to make that stupid joke that's gotten old ever since 2013. Kelsey just randomly says, "Hi, my boyfriend is cool." People will think she's crazy. You're no longer jealous of Bill's collection because you lost a Pokemon battle. If Bill was combined with Clefairy, why isn't he a Clefairy human hybrid? We cured Bill! Now where's the Clefairy he was combined with? What? That's exactly why I came to your place. Some genius you are. Misty is too young to be hot. Like most trainers in Kanto, both her Pokemon are the same evolution line. That's unimpressive for a gym leader. There's no badge jingle when you beat most gym leaders. Clyde says you and him make a great team even though veterans don't need him. Instead of making off with the team like a smart thief, this grunt sticks around waiting for someone to stop him. He thinks he'll believe he's innocent when he's dressed like a criminal. You ungrateful jerk! You told me to get back to Dig TM, then decided to just get a Diglett? Fine, if you won't take it back, I'll just keep this TM. This stupid guard won't let you pass just because he's thirsty. Even if that's not drool, but nectar used to attract prey, it's still disgusting. Jeff sees you ignoring him and assumes you want to talk to him. Why do I have to constantly recharge the Versus Seeker? Oak's some kind of psychic. Good or bad depending on the trainer. You know, for getting Drowsy and Chandelure's Pokédex entries. Trading Spearow for Farfetch is a terrible trade since Farfetch doesn't evolve. I know Farfetch was made to teach him all about patience, but I argue it against that in my least favorite Pokemon list. Is this chairman infatuated with his Rapidash? He even wants to hug it even though it's on fire. Your Pikachu is twice as cute as what one? I don't see any others. This Machop never flattens the land enough for the building these guys want to build. This deck has no security check. This ship was the inspiration for the worst episode of Pokemon Season 1, and possibly the worst episode of the show. Your only friends are your Pokemon? That's literally sad. To Gentleman Arthur's credit, I'd be mad if someone barged into my room, but that's what you get for not locking your door. Or does this good-for-nothing ship not have locks? I'm not the waiter, are you crazy? Status inflictions kick in at inconvenient times. Since they're more likely to affect you than the opponent, here's 5 sins. Kanto's full of nincompoops, but Anne takes the cake. Her wide variety of Pokemon around the world are just a Pidgey and a Nidoran. And after you win, she tells you to heal her Pokemon for her. How stupid is she? Kanto might set a record for least intelligent population. Better remind myself to send myself later for it, that's racist. Now we just stole someone's Brick Break TM. Does this undercover police agent blow his cover to everyone he talks to? Who throws away hyper potions? Am I the only one who feels weird looking at tentacles? The red dots look like their eyes, but they have eyes at the bottom of their body. No, I don't know what they say about sailors and battling. Icicles are stronger than that. Of course sailors have Pokemon. Why would being a sailor mean you can't? If people threw away berries, they must have gone bad. If HMs have infinite use, why make them unforgettable until later? We don't want to waste move slots on useless moves for too long. You mean the party we were invited to is already over? Oh come on, that would have been awesome! Also, don't be so sarcastic with me. If the captain gets seasick easily, he shouldn't be the captain. This is your last chance to get everything on the SSN. Despite being only 10, we somehow know that rubbing his back will ease his sickness a bit. 22 seconds of ship pulling out. Is Blue staying on the ship? Guess we're rid of him for a whole year. Or at least an hour. I hate Arena Trap. I know that's a spin, but Magicup's back sprite looks like his teeth are clenched. Deforestation. The museum owners make it easy to sneak into the back of the museum. This guy gets overused sneaking through the back pretty fast. How does a person learn to eat dreams? Yeah, win, lose, or draw, except for the fact that a draw chiefly counts as a loss. Yasu plays Pokemon every day, then he grew up and had a son named Misha who became a meme-worthy bad singer. Braxton's mouth is so small. Clyde says flying types are bird types. You have to hit the correct 2 switches in a row in this luck-based gym. But since they changed it to have the switches next to each other, only give 1 sin. Surge, who calls Pikachu a baby Pokemon, uses one in battle. I thought his strategy was to make Pikachu evolve as soon as you catch it. How does Beedrill sting without killing itself? 2 of Connor's super bug Pokemon are an unevolved Caterpie and a Weedle. What a twit. Game thinks kids will know what patronize means. Who holds a disc on a Pokemon's head? No wonder they break after 1 use. Rock Tunnel is long and annoying. All Cubone wore their dead mother's skull helmets, but that means that all Cubone's mothers died. How did that happen? Discount Homer Simpson. How am I not showing respect? By coming through this cave? Follow Me is completely useless in single battles. And here's the most overrated song in the whole franchise. Is it even respectful to have a battle in a cemetery? Julia is a sore loser. If you didn't want us to be mean to your Clefairy, don't challenge us. Here's why it's dumb to change Gambler to Gamer. Rich being a rambling gaming dude means nothing now, since he originally said gambling, which I won't ruin it. But my point still stands. Kids won't even know what gambling is. Muck's design is just a bigger grammar. Its name spelled backwards inspired one of the most overused Pokemon jokes people make. How does losing a Pokemon battle mean you should give up on Pokemon? Why do these evil bikers have the good guy encounter theme? Death threats. It takes 3 hours to get your first fire Pokemon unless you chose Charmander. Firered players get Arcanine, which is stronger than its Leafgreen version Ninetales. Ninetales still rocks though. Growlithe is annoying because it uses Word to end the battle. If only sleeping Pokemon can hear the Pokeflute, I must be a sleeping Pokemon too. How old is this guy to say Misty's cute? She's like 12! They don't tell us what drinks we already gave this kid without having to rebuy them. Game thinks we'll know that talking to this old lady is required of beating the game. This always ticked me off. Why do they let you steal this guy's Eevee even though they prohibit you from stealing Pokemon? This stupid grunt thinks we're his chief. Worst secret keeper ever. Porygon is way too expensive than Firered. No wonder Blue's always ahead of you. Are you saying we can't take a little break? It's not like becoming champion will save the world. This man expects you not to tell anyone that Team Rocket owns this place. How does no one suspect that Rocket Game Corner is run by them? This team makes Team Skull look competent. Once you beat this grunt, he leaves this poster unguarded. Switch behind the poster cliche. Well, it all started when I got this game for Christmas. I turned it on, talked to Professor Oak, moved into Pallet Town.
2 hours later.
And then I was able to get in because one of your members is an idiot. Here's the infamous, oh no, I dropped the lift key line, but I'm more concerned that this incompetent moron can't just pick it back up. Even Giovanni has a normal trainer theme. Kangaskhan's always female, but it does not look female. And it barely even looks like a kangaroo. Why did Giovanni leave the Silph Scope for us? What were they thinking when they made this creepy old man? This is worth 5 cents. Why are only girls allowed? That's incredibly sexist. And with this sexist rule, how do they expect boys to get every badge? Bulbasaur can no longer stand on its hind legs when it evolves. Not that it matters, this has never stood on them anyway. Discount normal SpongeBob from the Not Normal episode. There are better places to hide than in an area over a fence that people can look over. Besides, why is this woman hiding anyway? Does no one ever leave her alone? I know these chillers talk like this because they're being possessed, but possessed people don't talk stupid and unthreatening like this. Ghost Pokemon cut their health to use Curse, but just switching out your Pokemon after renders the opponent's sacrifice worthless. Paula was so busy panicking that she didn't know where the ghost is after we beat it right in front of her. They couldn't even say give me your soul, but they could have a perverted 70-year-old man? How did they get past Marowak's ghost? Riding up Cycling Road is annoying. Yes, all Pokemon are unique, except Mothim, Amoonguss, Farfetch'd. Jacob claims this random patch of grass is his turf like he's stingy from Lazy Town. We get the move Return, even though the move Frustration looks much cooler. Game Freak, do you want us to be nice to our Pokemon or not? Your marriage is completely based off whether or not you win a Pokemon battle. Gosh, you're a terrible girlfriend. I hate this game of chance. You waste Pokeballs catching Magikarps and hope that one's big enough. Lucas should be careful with these wires. He looks like he's going wild with them and he could easily electrocute people. All they did to make Electrode was give Voltorb a mouth and flip its colors. His bird cage is empty. What the heck is Hitmonlee supposed to be? Some kind of mutant chicken leg? I feel your pain, Ron. I was in your position years ago. Now they're saying that someone succeeded in stealing a kid's Pokemon. That's terrible. Also, what are the odds that the kid he robbed had the same Pokemon that bikers use? All 3 of the Pokemon Kindragon trades are from the Oddish line. Why couldn't Edwin have members from all 4 normal flying families in this game? That's Tethys. Who makes a zoo but doesn't charge anyone? These Safari Zone employees nicknamed their warden Slowpoke. How have they not been fired yet? The Safari Zone is mandatory since you get Surf and Strength here. In Gen 1, it was possible to run out of ways to get money, literally ruining your chances since it requires money. Here, the Versus Secret gives no limit to how much money you can get total. Fixing this problem, I'm gonna take off 4 sins! Lazily reusing the evolution theme. These stupid Safari Balls make the Safari Zone's catching mechanics even more luck-based than most captures since you can't weaken Pokemon. Sure, you can throw rocks, but that guarantees that they'll flee, especially Kangaskhan. When Paris evolves, its mushroom corrupts its brain permanently. Why would they do that? How did the Warden even lose his false teeth? Did he not feel them fall out? Or did they kick him out for using up all his steps and not care that he lost his teeth or the fact that he's the Warden? I hate the step limit. Seriously, look how close we are. The house that's accessed by going counterclockwise around the Safari Zone's border hasn't been found. We know how HMs work. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. I didn't use an action replay. Here you go, Mr. Warden. I bet you'll be glad to have your teeth back and then use them without washing them after they've been laying on the ground all day, probably chewed on by some Pokemon. This poison gym uses more psychic types than poison types. Why are you bringing up sleep moves? You have none. This inconsiderate guard hogs all your tea. And he still has enough for the others. Sure, let's give him move and type the same name. Guard who sleeps on the job cliche. Though, when I think about it, why am I even surprised? This is Team Rocket we're talking about. What's the juggler doing here? Is he here to entertain Team Rocket as they take over? Mr. Mime's name was lazily made, and there can be female Mr. Mimes too. We never betrayed you, you idiot. We were never on your side. Game made me ask my parents about the Tixie branch, waiting for the game to explain it anyways after you beat Taylor, being some Russian no man's land. Also, Tixie branch. Didn't you say a world of pain last time? This is one repetitive crime leader. Nidoqueen and Nidoking can't breed with each other. What the heck? This is why both Nidoran should have been the same Pokemon and not existed until Generation 4 when gender differences came. Even the evil mastermind gives back Silph Code just for losing a Pokemon battle. Then again, this is the same genius who still hasn't fired Jesse and James in the show. The only Master Ball. Aside from the ones that Professor Elm, Archie, Maxie, Egan, Professor Crane, Cyrus, Professor Juniper, this one Shades guy, Chorus, the Pokemon Factory President, Gladion, and every Pokemon Lottery Corner owned. Ryu? Is that you? The Karate King's named Kyle, not Koichi. How did Game Freak mess that up? Did they even check? Slowbro evolves from Slowpoke from having his tail bit by Shelter, which is why I don't need one to evolve my Slowpoke. Also, I feel bad for Shelter since it can't control where it goes anymore. It eats Slowbro scraps. I don't want to think about how something biting its tail does that. When have Pokemon ever taken on their trainer's appearance? Slowbro's obese body can fit inside that shelter. Sabrina foresaw the Johto player's arrival 3 years in advance but couldn't foresee that she'd lose this fight. Everyone has psychic power. Good thing to teach kids! There's no teleportation pad that lets you leave instantly. Why can't we challenge gym trainers after beating their leader? Goldie is the Sea Queen while its evolution Sea King is the king. That's sexist. Why is Lil such an insufferable coward? Ian says that Lil needs to lose weight. She looks fit to me. I hate Protect. How does a battle get you warmed up for the water? Sorry David, you can't dive for Pokemon unless you're in Hoenn, or playing Shadows of Almia or Guardian Signs. Darren has a point. Why are all these swimmers swimming but we have to ride our Pokemon? How are the Seafoam Islands, which have tiny beaches and freezing caves, a good getaway? Psyduck only gets access to Psychic type moves if it has a bad headache? No, that's a lie. I know Kanto has lazy designs, but an ordinary seal that's even named Seal. Cute design though. How can you fly to the middle of some random island but we can't? Showing off. The scientist says it takes a while to revive fossils, yet once you leave and re-enter, he's already done. And he needs to learn the word patience. There's something about this song I dislike. I hate this mechanic. Facing trainers shouldn't be a punishment since you get good experience and money. Granted, you can talk to them to fight them anyways, but still. Quinn's no longer a thief, yet his trainer class is still burglar. Tentacruel doesn't have 80 tentacles. That looks more like 12 or 14. Exeggutor lost 3 of its heads upon evolving. Did they fade from existence? This irresponsible father sends his 7-year-old daughter to the forest unsupervised. Hoenn's Move Maniac was better since he asked for heart scales which were much cheaper than 2 tiny mushrooms or 1 big mushroom. Just give him the tiny mushrooms since the big one's 10 times as expensive. Giving him the big one's a huge waste. The sprite limitations make this old woman look younger than she actually is. This old woman could easily get out. She's not completely surrounded. How does being from Kanto mean we should be with you? I thought Team Aqua and Magma had low varieties of Pokemon, but the bikers, even their leader Paxton, only use 2 Pokemon lines. Not a single person in the most populated of the Sevi Islands likes loud music or noisy games? If you think Sabrina's beautiful now, just wait until the Johto remakes. I wish Violet had all 3 Bulbasaur evolutions instead of Bulbasaur and 2 Ivysaur. You saw Lost Elf's father before, but you withhold the meteorite you were supposed to deliver until you saved Lost Elf. What the heck kind of creature is Lickitung supposed to be? What were they thinking when they made it completely possible to avoid this puzzle? How does Jason make music with a Rhyhorn? It's awesome that Giovanni's the leader here, even if I was a stupid kid for spoiling it for myself. But why does the Pokemon League allow him to be one? Did he hide his face and did they not find that suspicious? Giovanni's the greatest trainer after we beat him twice already. Why is Giovanni's Rhydon now a Rhyhorn? Did they want to hide the fact that Rhydon has a different sprite that it doesn't Hoenn until the final fight and leave us in suspense or something? I know why a Piranha evolves into a shark, but how in a million years does a Hamstreet thing evolve into some weird dinosaur? Your loss is embarrassing enough to leave people with no way of getting every badge. While that didn't stop you when Blue and the Victory Road trainers beat you. This is level 53 Blastoise still knows Water Gun. How does losing make you ready? If anything, it means I'm more ready than you. I get he's an overconfident jerk, but he's one with no common sense. Victory Road houses trainers with Charizard and Blastoise, but no Venusaur? This shop doesn't sell Maxervite. Even with Jinx's not as creepy redesign, it's still creepy. Bruno has 2 Onyxes. That's a waste of space when Onyx isn't even a fighting type. Agatha is a jerk to Oak. Agatha is a ghost type user, but all of her Pokemon are poison types. Maybe that's why the original deck should have had more ghost Pokemon. Lance is much cockier than I remember him being in the Johto games. I know Gyarados is water flying because back then Water Dragon would have no weakness, but that didn't stop Sableye and Electros. Besides, why not be mono water? Being part flying makes no sense. Also, its back sprite is bizarre. Do they have to turn Dragonair into Ord from Dragon Tales and Cheezosaurus Rex morphed together? You're not the strongest trainer in the world, just Encanto. This final battle is awesome. With Blue's powerful Pokemon, the intense music, and finally getting to punish this brat, I better take off 4 sins. Yikes, that's a creepy Blastoise sprite. And here begins one of the most fun Pokemon after games. These Team Rocket dolts discuss their plan in public, and they even blurt out one of the passwords instead of whispering it. Because that'll work. Making kids buy a Braille book. All Pokemon that can reproduce do so by laying eggs, even mammal Pokemon. This fat kid made a slushie with the dirty ice found in Icefall Cave. It's fun exploring this cave, but it's skippable if you have a level 41 Sea King. Something tells me that I shouldn't tell Lorelei that I've caught some Pokemon here. Would it kill her to put up a sign or something? This moment made Lorelei one of my favorite Elite Four members, so why couldn't this be a multi-battle teaming up with her? Blue still thinks he's better than you even after you destroyed him. Now the satisfaction of dethroning him means nothing. This makes me mad enough to give 10 cents. They don't tell you if this lady wants to see a Heracross or take it from you. She just wants to see it, but she's not specific enough. Joanna, a bug lover, uses Snubbull. What the heck? The Johto Pokemon on these islands are way too low level to be useful now. Dahlia thinks we don't know how to breathe properly for some reason. Here's Altering Cave, which is normally useless. If you want to sell the e-reader so badly, why can't they tell us that it's needed to get rare Pokemon here? I never knew steel was cuttable. The Lost Cave's fine once you know the pattern, but they barely give you any hints and no indication of what to do to get each item. This is the only way to even see any Hoenn Pokemon without training. Horrible amount of wasted potential. Might as well have been a Gen 2 game. Calm down, Selfie. What makes you think we're here to hurt you? If you take 250 steps before showing her the Pokemon she wants, she won't give you the item she promised, despite the nearest PC being more steps than that. What were they smoking? If Milo believes the beak's the bird's best part, shouldn't he use Fearow and not Pidgeotto? Game expects us to know what the heck the down of a bird is. Couldn't they pick a sadder theme for the Memorial Pillar? It takes until an after game to even see your first Dark Pokemon. Yeah, the next at midnight ranks you, but only by like 2 levels. Lucky that Gideon didn't sell a Sapphire in the time it took to get here. Why should we give up? We just beat you. Not many people come out here, then how do you explain all the trainers out here? Because you beat her, Manline assumes you're kind to your Pokemon. Giving John Golduck while Eve has Psyduck? That's sexist. Unless the level 100 Pokemon is fighting one that's level 2. First Eevee, now they deliberately have us steal this Lucky Punch. Don't you mean multiple unknown sleep in here? A newly hatched Togepi is already level 5. I hate roaming legendaries. No. This outside image shows that Cerulean Cave didn't have that creepy mist before I came in here. I couldn't complain about Mewtwo's catch range if it didn't have Recover. Why does it have 2 necks? Instead of giving Bruno a hit on top, they lazily evolved both Onyxes. Agatha now uses Mischievous, so it's more believable that she's a Ghost user, but she still has more poison than Ghost. Maybe that's why they should have used Hoenn Pokemon. Even Shedinja would satisfy me. We're the champion again! At least until we re-enter the league and have to conquer it all over again.